Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Super excited to be here and practice with you for this noonday short little movement session. So we're gonna kind of cut the chit chat and dive right in. And we're gonna get started in down dog today. So kind of taking time to get set up in that shape. If you are just not ready to get there, then you can start in table if that's more comfortable. But if you're ready to get after it, as you settle into this down dog, I want you to take feet a little bit wider. So feet towards the wide edges of your mat here. Maybe you let those hands come out a little wider as well. And then just start to settle in to this shape. For a lot of you, this might be your first down dog of the day. So just taking some time to get settled here. Feeling that connection of hands and feet into the mat. Bringing that focus to the breath, finding those nice full inhales and exhales. And just spending a few moments in stillness in this shape, kind of feeling all of those sensations happening in the shoulders or the feet or the hips. And just taking some time to get out of our desk posture or our whatever you've been doing with your morning, just kind of shaking it out, settling in here. And if you've taken those hands a little bit wider, those feet a little wider, just start to bring them back in. Settling in here. We're going to start to add a little movement. So maybe you pump the legs, wagging the tail, pressing back through a heel as you bend the other knee. Just giving yourself space if you need to kind of drop out of this down dog at any point. You can come down to the knees, settle into that table shape. We're going to find a little bit of flow here. So as we inhale, rolling up onto those tiptoes. Exhale, presses heels down and back. Moving through this a couple times here. Inhale to find that lift. Exhale to lower those heels. You can stay with that little bit of movement. If you're wanting a little bit more here, as you inhale, maybe you roll forward into that plank shape. Exhale sends those hips up and back. Moving through this a couple times here. Nothing like a little plank to get us connected to our body and our mind and our breath. We'll settle back into that down dog shape. Pressing back through the heels. From here, we're going to start to lift that left foot up towards the sky. Any way you want to get it there, we're stepping it forward. Bringing it forward, and then that back knee is just going to settle right on down to the mat. Reaching those hands up towards the sky. Settling in for a breath here. Maybe you lean a little forward, finding that kind of front hip stretch, pressing forward, finding that little bit of extra stretch in the legs. We'll bring it right back to neutral. We're going to pull those elbows apart, finding these cactus arms or goalpost arms, feeling that opening through the chest, kind of counteracting our computer existence in the upper body here, and really lengthening through the elbow tips as you settle into this shape. So keeping all of that happening, we're going to start to twist the torso towards that left thigh. Bringing it back to center. Twisting the torso towards the right edge of the mat. Bringing it right back to center. One more time each side here, twisting towards that left thigh, lengthening through the elbows. Bringing it back. One more time towards the right. Bringing it back. We're going to press those forearms towards each other. Maybe the forearms touch, pressing the palms together. And then bring it right back out. Hands to the sky here. Hands are going to come down around that foot, lifting that back knee. We're stepping it back, down dog. With our inhale, rolling forward, finding plank. We're going to drop the knees this first round. Heart presses forward as elbows bend straight back, lowering down to the mat. Untucking those toes, big shrug of the shoulders. Baby cobra. Rolling right back down. Pressing back through table or plank up into our down dog. Settling in for a couple breaths here. With our next inhale, right foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. We're going to bring that back knee down and then hands to the sky. And again, just taking a couple breaths here. So maybe you press the body forward, finding that stretch, kind of extension through that front left hip, leaning into it. We'll bring it back to neutral. Finding that cactus arm shape. And again, just really feeling that open expanse through the upper part of the chest, lengthening through the elbow tips. We're going to start to turn the torso towards that right thigh, bringing it back to center, and then over to the left, bringing it back to center. One more time each side here, twisting towards the right, keeping that length happening, bringing it back. One more time to the left, bringing it back to center. Pressing those forearms and hands towards each other, bringing it right back out. Hands to the sky here. We'll bring hands down around that foot, lifting that back knee. Any way you want to get there, we're stepping it back, down dog. We'll move through this vinyasa together one more time. Inhale to find plank. Option to keep those knees lifted, or you can lower them, lowering all the way down. Pressing up into that baby cobra. Maybe you press up any amount more. And then taking it back through table or plank into our down dog. If it makes sense in the body, left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. We're going to keep that back knee lifted this time as we come all the way up, hands to the sky. So just settling into our high lunge, feeling that connection of feet to the floor. We're going to pull those elbows apart, finding that cactus arm shape. And we're going to start to press those forearms towards each other. Hands can touch, maybe the forearms touch. Option to stay, or with your inhale, arms press up towards the sky. Exhale, rounds that back, hugging them in towards the belly. Moving through this a couple times. Finding that movement, if it makes sense, maybe just staying in stillness. One more time to find that lift. Finding that little crunch. Coming back up to center. Hands to the sky. Hands come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. This time you have the option, maybe you move through that vinyasa, maybe you drop down to your table, find some cat-cow, you can press it all the way back, into child's pose, just taking those 5 breaths to find the movement or stillness that you're needing to find that connection of body and breath. We'll settle back into our down dog. Inhale, reaches that right foot up and back, stepping it forward. Again, staying up on those toes on that back foot, coming all the way up, hands to the sky. So you know where we're headed with this side. If you felt a little wobbly or unstable the first round, you can always plant that back heel for a little more support in this shape. Settling in for a breath. We'll pull those elbows apart. Pressing the arms towards each other. Again, option to stay here, or inhale finds that lift. Exhale, crunching it in towards the belly. Moving through this a couple times with your breath. Crunching it in one more time. Coming up to neutral. Pulling those arms apart. Hands reach up. Hands are going to come down around the foot. We're just going to step that back foot forward, forward fold. Nice deep bend to the knees here. Keeping that back nice and rounded. We're going to roll all the way up. Once you're there, shoulders stacked on top, head stacked on top of the spine. Nice big reach, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, nice big reach. It wouldn't be my class at any point if there wasn't chair pose. So we're going to sit on back into our chair. You choose what your chair looks like. Full breath here. Shifting weight to that left foot, we're going to step that right foot all the way back into our lunge. Pausing for a breath. Hands come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. Option to move through that vinyasa if you want it, or pausing, table, child's pose, anything you need. We'll all come to meet in our down dog. Right foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward, coming into that lunge. Pausing for a breath. Shifting that weight forward, we're going to sneak that foot forward into our chair. All the way up to stand. Exhale, hands, heart center. We're going to do that same sequence, just reversing the order of the legs. Inhale, nice big reach. Settling into chair. This time shifting the weight into that right foot, stepping that left leg all the way back. Big breath here. Hands come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. 5 breaths, your choice. Finding that vinyasa, finding stillness. From our down dog, left leg reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Coming on up, high lunge. Big breath here. Shifting forward as we step into our chair pose. Maybe you settle any amount deeper. All the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're just going to bring hands down at our sides. Palms facing forward. Maybe the eyes close or the gaze drifts to the floor here. Settling back into that breath, that steady movement of inhale and exhale, that connection of body and mind in this practice. We'll start to blink the eyes open. Inhale, hands to the sky. Shifting weight into the right foot, that left knee is going to come up. We're going to find that cactus arm shape. Pausing here for a moment, feeling really active in that foot, that bent knee, as if you're pressing down into something that's that invisible thing that's under your foot. Option to stay here or start to twist towards that left thigh, keeping that cactus arm shape. Bringing it back to center. Twisting towards the right. A little extra challenge. Bringing it back to center. Hands can stay where they're at. You can reach them up to the sky. We're sending that left foot all the way back. Settling into our lunge. And then planting that back heel, opening it up, warrior two. Inhale finds that lift. Exhale, warrior two. Finding our reverse. Coming forward, forearm to thigh, extended side angle. Bringing it back, warrior two. One more time, inhale to lift. Warrior two. Finding our reverse. Extended side angle. Coming on up, warrior two. Hands come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. Finding your vinyasa if you want it, settling into that table or child's pose. You choose what you need. We'll settle back into our down dog. Right foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Coming on up into our lunge. Pausing for a breath. We're going to start to shift that weight forward, bringing that left knee all the way up to the heart. Finding that pause here. Maybe you pull those elbows apart, settling into that cactus arm shape. We'll start to twist towards that left thigh. You can keep this cactus arm shape, or maybe you bring that right hand outside the left knee. Left hand can reach back behind you. It can come to the hip. Settling into this twist. We'll gently untwist. As we set that foot down, settling into chair. And then all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands, heart center. Last round of standing here. Inhale, nice big reach. Shifting weight into that left foot, right knee comes up. Option to stay, finding that pressure underneath that foot as you press down, pulling those elbows apart. We'll twist towards that right thigh, bringing it back to center, twisting towards the left, coming back to center. Hands can stay, or you can reach them up as we send that foot back behind us, settling into our lunge. And then we're going to open it up, warrior two. Taking a moment to get set here. With our inhale, nice big reach. Warrior two. Finding that reverse. Coming forward, extended side angle. Bringing it back up, warrior two. One more time, inhale to lift. Warrior two. Finding that reverse. Coming forward. Bringing it up, warrior two. Hands come down around the foot, stepping it back. Last vinyasa if you want it. Moving through those shapes or settling into the breath wherever you're at. From our down dog, left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Coming on up. We're going to start to shift that weight forward. Right knee is coming all the way up to the heart. Option to stay here if this feels like enough and you're happy, or pulling those elbows apart. We'll start to find that twist. Hands can stay as they are, or left hand comes outside that knee. Right hand can reach back or come to the hip. Breathing into the twist. Wherever you're at, we'll just gently untwist. Setting that foot down, last chair. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, nice big reach. Hands are going to come down into the heart, pausing here for a breath. One more time, inhale, nice big reach, folding forward. Halfway lift, folding forward. Bending the knees a lot here so that hands can come down to the mat. We're going to step it all the way back into our down dog. And then just bringing knees down to the mat, into that table, and then bringing the bum all the way down. We're going to bring the feet straight out in front here, keeping the legs super active. So pressing actively through those heels, making sure you're fully on your sit bones here. Hands are just going to come out to the side. So maybe tented up on the fingertips. Spine is nice and tall. We're in our cute little yoga box. Nice long spine, nice length through the legs. You have the option to stay here. This is happy. If you're wanting a little bit more, starting to find this fold deep up in the hip crease. Hands can start to walk forward. Almost like you're reaching chest towards the toes. So obviously, chest won't get to the toes, but finding that length. So the spine is staying nice and long here. And this fold is happening deep into the hips. We're going to settle into this shape for a few breaths. Maybe each inhale finds a little lift. Exhale finds a little bit of release. And if you've found that kind of sweet spot in this shape, maybe you start to fold and really kind of melt in towards the legs here. And we'll just gently bring those hands back towards the hips. Pausing again for a moment, hands can come out to the sides, finding that length through the spine. And then we'll just start to put a bend into the knees. If you want a little extra core work here, you can reverse crunch your way down. That's not for you. We're just coming all the way down to our back. Keeping those feet planted, knees bent. We're going to start to bring the left ankle over that right knee. You can stay here if this is enough and this is happy. If you're wanting more, reaching for the back of that right thigh, and then just hugging the legs in towards the body. Being mindful of the neck and the shoulders, so really letting them release and relax down towards the ground here. So everything on the spine, the back of the neck feels supported. If you're wanting a little more out of this shape, maybe you start to press that right foot up towards the sky, a little extra hamstring stretch. If that right leg's extended, just starting to bend into that knee, bringing that foot back down to the mat if it's lifted. We're gonna leave that left leg and just start to kind of cross it over the right like you're sitting into a chair. Arms can come out to the sides here. You can find that cactus arm shape. And then we're just gonna drop those legs over towards the right. So settling into a little moment of twist here. Keeping those shoulders pressing down towards the mat. Breathing a little extra space into that side body. And then we'll just gently bring those legs back to center, bringing that left foot down to meet the right. Same thing other side, that right ankle will cross the left knee. Option to stay or reaching for the back of that left thigh, hugging those legs in towards the body. Pausing here before you start to add on any extra shapes or stretches, just feeling the sensations. And then if you want, that left foot can start to press up towards the sky. Again, making sure the head and the neck and shoulders are feeling easy and released into the ground. That left leg's extended, we'll start to bend that knee, bringing that foot back down, and just sliding that right leg into that cross leg position. And then we'll start to drop the legs over towards the left. Settling in, using that breath to create space. And we'll bring those legs back to center, releasing that foot down. From here, we'll just hug those knees in towards the chest for a moment. Maybe just nice and still, maybe you find a little movement. And then as you're ready, just settling into our final pose or shape. So maybe you come to lay flat, letting the arms take up a little space, the legs take up a little space here. If you'd prefer to be seated, that's an option. Just bringing that focus and that awareness back to the breath, the sensations in the body. Using this last little moment to kind of recognize how you were able to honor what you needed out of this practice. If you're happy and you have the time, feel free to stay here for a little longer. If you're needing to kind of get back to the day and the tasks ahead, just taking your time, come up to a seated position. We'll bring hands in front of the heart. Thank you all so much for sharing this space and sharing a little midday movement with me. The light within me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Awesome. Thanks again, everyone. I hope this was what you needed for your Wednesday midday. It's definitely what I needed. So these will keep happening every Wednesday, so keep an eye out for them. Hope it was a little moment of energy to get you through the rest of the day and the rest of your week. So have a lovely day. Hopefully enjoy the sunshine. Cheers all.